Good morning, everyone. Today's the 28th of March. This is Brad Matheny, and this is the Plan Your Trade video for Friday, March 28th. And today I suggest we all be a little happy about the fact that we made it through another week. And the markets are doing pretty much exactly what I predicted. I've been getting some great messages from everyone, private messages and DMs, and it's just really, really quite impressive. So the SPY, let's take a look at the cycle patterns. SPY is moving into a carryover trend. We've had this rollover top that I've been talking to you about. It's really doing exactly pretty much what I suggested, other than the fact that we didn't quite find that bottom over here around 570 and we continued downward. It ran right down to basically a 50% level right over here. You can see it. So it ran down to this 50% level right here at 561, moved down almost exactly to the 618 level right here. There's a 618 level. Found some support, very short-lived top, back to the 382 level. Absolutely perfect in terms of Fibonacci, rolling between the 618 and 382 level. And now we look like we're going to roll down into this 530, 540 area, trying to reach down to this low, 535, 536 roughly, into this big breakdown. So, we're really getting this really solid roll to the downside. The pattern here is a carryover in counter trend mode. Bullish. We've got a short-term bullish accumulation, long-term bearish, and explosive mode. If I were to come in here to an hourly and tell you what I think is likely to happen on a Friday, we're going to open a little lower. We're going to come down, probably retest this gap, and we'll probably see this move down like this and just kind of general carryover into the trend. Probably down around 563, 562 at the end of the day is what I expect. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I mean, generally, it's going to be kind of like this. I drew it a little too long. But, that's kind of what I expect. Somewhere down in that area by the end of the day today. Now, we only have a couple more days before we go into April here. We're going to be moving probably into a rolling sideways downward kind of a trend. You can see here that the Qs have already filled the gap. This is hourly. What would I expect here? Same type of activity, rolling down into this area, possibly settling on the Qs around 476, 474. Ultimately, guys, we're going to be moving down into that breakdown trend like I highlighted. Looks like I was talking about something here which is no longer bullish. So everything is pretty much bearish, bearish, bearish. Let's set this up red. So remember, we're really looking at that broad breakdown. Now, I was expecting this, didn't happen off of that lower support, and that didn't happen, and that didn't happen. So here we have our breakdown. And here we have our trend. Here we have our flagging. And you can kind of see this setting up. I'll redraw the flag. So here we had our excess phase peak flag moving into the consolidation channel. I believe the consolidation channel is really going to move down into this area, flag out as an ABC type of move, possibly down to here. That will set up a very broad consolidation mode where we'll be looking for consolidation between here and basically here. Very broad consolidation. But now you can see that we also have kind of a little rolling flagging pattern that we just broke down. And this typical type of flagging is going to try to possibly hold at this support. and possibly move down into consolidation again, back down in the same lower area. So this is essentially dual consolidation. Okay, it's essentially setting up as a trigger zone, not only for this, let's do this red pattern a little different color, not only setting up for this blue, light blue turquoise breakdown, but it's setting up for this red breakdown as well into consolidation. So where we would be here is we would move into consolidation, and we would be looking for a broad range consolidation phase. Now, consolidation here would likely stay below this lower channel. So you can see I've highlighted this here, right there. So it would likely stay below that lower consolidation channel, indicating that we would more than likely see consolidation down in this range. Potential that we could come up at some point into this range, but it's going to want to stay down here in this lower channel. That's going to qualify price. So the next move we're looking at here is a move below, say, 466 down to 436. Try to mark these for you. 466 down to 436. And, the peak level up here, 493, almost 494. So that gives you an idea of kind of where we're at. We should be moving all the way down into this lower channel, 440, 436 area. Okay, let's take a look at gold and silver. Remember, trying to keep these things under 20 minutes, as that seems to be best for the posting. Again, we have a pop trigger yesterday, big, beautiful move to the upside. And then we have a nothing in trend mode. Bullish, explosive, warning, big rally. This was a rollover on the contract. Silver, this is hourly. Huge move from really 34 up to 35. This is a full dollar move, guys, in silver. And let's come over here, take a look at 4 hour and 4 hour, and really kind of get a grasp of where we're at here. Okay. Try to get a grasp of where we're at. So you can see here, we are, we're at new all-time highs, just like I predicted. Big, broad rally at new all-time highs. We're rallying extensively. We're inside that channel. This channel is primary purple channel here, moving into that big explosive trending that I suggested was going to take place. Now we'll come over here and take a look at daily. And this is what I was warning you about in the expansion phase. In the expansion phase of this move, which we're in right now, we're likely to see a very solid expansive rally up into this 5,000 level. And so when you look at this, you need to be aware that we're likely going to run up here, stall around 33, 34, run up to 42, and run up to maybe 47, 48 before we stall. And that's a good solid. Now, this, I've been telling you this for months, actually years. That's a good solid 50, 60% move. And I honestly do believe, and I've drawn this all the way out to 2026, that ain't going to happen like that. Let me show you something a little more realistic, okay? It's going to be almost straight up, guys. It's going to be almost straight up. And so this is June. Yeah, this is about right. I expect between May and June, we're going to see metals skyrocket. And so I'm not going to try to highlight this any more simple than this. It's almost straight up. That's actually out to September. Got to spread it out a little bit. too far. It's going to basically just skyrocket like that. So you might want to save this, because between now and basically June, July, gold and silver is going to skyrocket. It's just going to be unstoppable. And so you've got a fantastic opportunity here. I've been telling you that, this is coming and we're moving into the expansion phase and you guys need to get ready for it. And here it is. It's taking place right now, and you still have a lot of opportunity here. The opportunity is to throw a couple $100, $1,000 into some long-term call options. Try to pick these bottoms. We're not near bottoms now, but bottom line, guys, this is a massive move. You don't understand how big this is for metals. Gold is going to reach 4,000, 4,500 in about 2.5 months. That's from $3,000 right now. That's another $1,500. Silver is likely going to rally up to 44, 45, 46 bucks from where it is right now at 35 bucks. That's a $10, $11, $12 rally. That's like a 30% rally in metals, and a 25% basically rally, a little more, about 30% rally in gold. So again, the opportunity is there. This is like a swing hedge. Throw a little money into call options in GLD or UGL or SLV. Pick a date, 60, 65 days out, and watch it roll. I mean, literally just watch it roll. And then when we get out here closer to June, July, we'll pay attention, maybe roll some profits. And remember, you can roll profits throughout this and just pick another date, 40, 50, 60 days out. This is a big, dominant trend. This is going to continue for quite some time. And, you need to be aware of it. Okay, trying to be cautious of my time. Back over here to Bitcoin. Bitcoin rolled down. Where's my, I'm on the wrong one. There we go. That's my regular chart. Yes, it's fairly early and I haven't had my coffee yet. So there's the breakdown in the SPY. This is what we're looking at. Looking at a moderate breakdown today with some rotation. Here's the QQQ breakdown. You can see that we're likely to come down here into this 476, kind of just closing this gap and rolling in between this window here. I would say 475, 476 would be a pretty decent low for today. And then we'll come over here to our trusty little Bitcoin chart, and there's the breakdown. Remember I was telling you how we reached the top at 88,000? Remember, it should be back over here, I think, on this chart. No, it's over here on the main chart. This is daily. Where is it? Not that one. Not that one. Where's my 88 grand mark? Did I delete it? Well, this is where we have to just look. Having too many charts, guys. So this one looks like it may have gotten deleted. Secondary EPP. Daily. There it is. Should put this out over here where I can see it. Okay, so we've had this rolling peak, just like I've been telling you. We moved into consolidation. We were going to stall out around 88 grand, just like I told you. And now we've rolled down. We've got a new breakdown in price. Fibonacci price theory tells us that this is a good, solid breakdown. We need to move down below recent support. The only real recent support that I see here is right in this area using Fibonacci price theory, this low. And then we come down here to this low. Remember, you learn all of this by watching my videos on Fibonacci price theory. So the real big move here for Bitcoin is going to be 83,000 and 81,150. And what will likely happen here, guys, is we're going to get a little bit of a breakdown into this zone, downward, moving down, down, and then eventually trying to reach this 78, possibly breaking down to this 73,000 area, which is the next primary levels for support. So, oh, go away. There's your real trend right now, is following this big, broad turquoise line and this red line here, running into a little support around 78 grand, and then bring to front, and then possibly falling down to the 73 grand. Now, ultimately, as I've shown you before, we're looking at a bigger breakdown into this lower 55 channel, 55,000 area back over here. So be aware that on the bigger picture is this big roll downward, which would likely be an A, B, C, like I've drawn here, breakdown pattern. So there you go as far as the trending. Now, of course, we could invalidate, like I've drawn up here, back to the upside. But like I said, I don't see any reason why Bitcoin, and this is a good example right here. Gold is skyrocketing up, 2, 3, 4% in a week or more, and Bitcoin is consolidating. Where's the hedge? Where's the store of value? I think what you're finding out right now is when the world is in an uncertain place, gold and silver do what they naturally do, which is hedge. If Bitcoin was actively hedging, then you'd be looking at this skyrocketing as well, just like gold and silver. But Bitcoin is not acting as a hedge. It is an alternative investment instrument, and it really ties to the S&P and the QQQ more than it does as a hedge instrument, a protection instrument. It's now become more mainstream than gold and silver, believe it or not. Okay, guys, that's it for now. Go get some, 17 minutes. Remember, we're looking at a moderate, fairly quiet day today. So I don't expect much. I don't expect a whole big breakdown. Oops. I don't expect a big breakdown. And the reason why I don't expect a big breakdown is because, simply put, we're trading within this gap window. So we're going to be trading within this gap, likely running into the 562, 564 area, and pretty much that'll be it for today. Next week's a whole other block of data, block of time that we get into. And like I said, remember, we're moving down into this broad consolidation phase. Okay, so be aware that we're moving into this big, broad consolidation phase, which is going to set up some very big rolls in the near future. You're talking on the SPY here. You're talking if we get from this peak down to the lows, I think, a 7% downward move and likely a 7% upward swing then back in May into June. So going to be a pretty good roll for skilled traders. Okay, guys, talk to you later. Go get some and happy Friday.